Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Deep Fat Fried.
Who's this Ponzi guy? It's me, Mickey the Rat.
Oh, you still?
Oh, you didn't think I was? You didn't
still,
think I was
still
committed,
rolling,
TJ?
You're still rolling with Mickey the Rat, huh?
You didn't think I was committed, TJ? You didn't think I'd carry it into a second episode, TJ?
I guess
Shows
I didn't.
what you know.
I guess I didn't.
Shows what you know, TJ.
How long can the streak go?
Mickey the Rat. He's in every show. I've always been Mickey the Rat.
I give it these 2 episodes.
Paul was just an act that I put on. Really, beneath Paul this whole time you've known me is Mickey the Rat, TJ.
Mickey the fucking Rat.
How do you feel? I bet you feel fooled, TJ.
Yo, Skittle.
Are you fooled?
Skittle. Stuff's going on over there.
Stuff's going on, dude. Oh, shit, dude.
Go see what's going on over there.
Yeah, dude, I win something?
See what's going the fuck on over there, man.
Oh, man,
Something's fucking happening. I don't know what it is.
Wow. You got rid of him pretty quick.
I know, right? It's easier than it looks.
Stuff's going on over there.
What? What's going on?
God, dude, this is my fucking luck, dude.
What's your luck? What happened
You
now?
guys ever heard of Publishers fucking Clearinghouse, man?
Publishers Clearinghouse.
They fuck came to the door like, Scott Crick, and I'm like, wait, what? Scott Crick, you've won $10 million fucking dollars.
They had the wrong Scott.
I'm like, no, Scott Kirk. You know that's my name, and I'm like, oh no, sorry,
sorry, this
The
is for Scott Crick.
The I and the R. I think that was just a typo. They're like, no, it's Scott Crick. See ya.
What a tragic turn
Fucking
of
drove
events.
away. To fucking like,
Good luck to Scott Crick.
everyone was disappointed. They fucking packed up all
Of
the balloons
Eves
and all that
Bend,
shit. That big ass
Arkansas.
check got fucking just.
Did anybody ever win the Publishers Clearinghouse, or was that just a
Oh yeah, people won.
people would win that?
They showed you on TV, dude.
Yeah, they
People win
show
all the
people
time,
winning.
man.
I never knew anybody that won no Publishers Clearinghouse, dude.
Because they didn't play, man. They didn't play.
Apparently, the only thing in my Reddit search history is big ass yoga pants.
Cool. I can't really blame you for that. I mean, if it was like something lame or
There's
something.
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, yeah, who's gonna give you shit
But
about
it's
that?
it's literally the only thing though. So that's
Big ass yoga. What
big
else do you need?
ass yoga
I
pants.
mean, yeah. Do you need anything else on your
I
Reddit
guess
experience?
not.
I mean, just endless
you know,
gifs of big asses.
they're
and
actually-
yoga pants.
There's that's fine. That's fine. But you know what? There is something else I need out of my fucking Reddit experience.
What's
dude.
that?
Goblin Gang.
Oh my god.
Oh, what, dude?
You don't know
The
about
Goblin
You don't know
Gang.
about Goblin Gang, Scotty?
No, what is it?
Oh, you poor bastard.
You haven't experienced the meme of the century?
No.
The meme of a lifetime, Scotty.
You've never seen a
Check
meme.
it out. You never seen a meme till you seen this meme. Look at that, Scotty. Look at that.
Why is this Goblin Gang?
This is Goblin Gang periphery. This is on the periphery of the
This
Goblin
is just
Gang.
like a sub meme
It's
of
just
Goblin
saying that
Gang.
like
Yeah.
every person is actually secretly Paul.
There's a Paul is Hagrid.
I mean, spot on.
pretty dead on. I mean, I'd like to be Hagrid. Hagrid was
I mean,
a
who the-
powerful fuck.
Where the fuck is the damn Goblin Gang? Here we go. This is a Goblin Gang
Whoa.
fucking video right here.
Goblin Gang in the house.
Goblin
I
Gang
mean,
in the
it-
house. Goblin Gang in the White House.
It's not even changing. Is it really even changing?
Yeah, what's this? I don't understand the point of looking at this still image.
I know what's going on.
There's more. See? Look at that. Shows Paul as multiple goblins, dude.
Which goblin is that?
I don't know. It looks like some lame
This
Disney
says
Channel
Paul,
goblin.
It says Paul Gang Rise Up. So is this Paul?
There's Paul Gang and then there's Goblin Gang.
Is that meant to be positive though?
And you got to fucking take a side. See?
okay. Oh, okay. I see.
What side are you on, Scotty?
Look at the user reports for being
Okay.
spammy and trolling.
Yep.
What?
Some salty folks out here.
Well, TJ, like, what am I betting with each one? Like Paul Gang, I'm betting that Paul's better. Or, I mean, what am I fucking betting?
I
Scotty,
honestly don't know.
You either are part of Paul Gang or you're part of Goblin
I
Gang.
don't fucking know what the difference is.
You have to choose.
If I don't know, but I mean, if I don't know what I'm getting into,
You have to choose, Scotty. Look, the choice is before you.
Choose your destiny,
Is
Scotty.
it Paul Gang or is it Goblin Gang?
Paul
Scotty?
Gang or Goblin Gang. You must choose one fucking thing.
I know where I stand.
dude,
on
I would
this.
look. I'll be honest with you. I would definitely choose the Paul Gang.
See,
and
that's
you-
the wrong choice.
And no, but here's why.
Goblin Gang for life.
But here's why. I'll tell you the why. Because Paul's extremely lazy. So I know for a fact that the gang, like even if we were part of the gang and Paul was the boss, pretty much nothing would ever
Paul's
happen.
not the boss of Paul.
Dude, how do you think I justify my laziness? By being a cruel taskmaster. I may have to make everybody else. I crack the whip harder than your average dude.
Nah, dude, because you know what? You're never going to check to make sure that anything's actually getting done.
You should be on Goblin Gang.
Yeah, he never
dude.
checked on my tomatoes even once, dude.
See?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I harvested a crop of tomatoes.
Yeah, but I'm a
at his
scammer, so
behest,
it'll work for
That's
me.
why Paul
and he
Gang is a
fucking let
dead
them
meme.
rot on the vine, dude.
That's why Goblin Gang is ascendant, dude.
And by the time this episode comes out, that shit'll have been like long forgotten in the past.
Oh, it'll be on Know Your Meme as like an ancient meme by then.
But you know what? I think we just resurrected it. I think that there's going to be a lot more Paul Gang and
The Paul
Goblin
Gang.
Gang people now, Paul.
I'm glad for that, TJ.
Yeah.
I'm super happy for that.
I know you probably
I
are.
love
He
Goblin
seems so
Gang.
thrilled.
I love Goblin Gang, man.
Yeah,
It's
but-
the best meme I've ever seen.
Yeah, you love it?
Yep.
What do you love
What
most
does,
about it?
What does Mickey the Rat think about it?
The originality of it?
Yeah, dude. It's totally original.
Yeah, never been thought of
It's
before.
totally unique. And Mickey the Rat don't care.
I
It's
was
not about
wondering-
him.
Oh,
It's
maybe
about that other persona.
maybe
Oh,
it is.
yeah, that's
maybe
true.
it is.
That's-
You never know.
That's
yeah,
your dead.
Mickey the Rat is Goblin Gang.
That's your
for
dead
sure.
persona that no one's really interested
Yeah.
in anymore. I mean, who?
Who?
We
What?
got
when,
Mickey the
where,
Rat.
why?
All we
In
care
fact-
about- I mean, come on.
You're seeing Paul and Mickey the Rat in those pictures. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit tonight about fear. We've talked a little bit, on the show about how we're kind of pumped full of fear in this culture. We're told every day a million different things we're supposed to fear, right?
Yeah.
You fear each
Oh,
other,
Yeah.
fear the other, fear some other nation coming up with technology that'll wipe us out, fear, driving in cars, fear smoking a cigarette, fear, fear, fear. But I think that our fear has been misdirected. I think I know what the sum of all fears is.
A bad movie with Ben Affleck?
Looking at the pale blue dot here. Well, not the pale blue dot picture, but, Carl Sagan dubbed our planet the pale blue dot. He finished up his well-known speech with, "We need to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known." Well, I'm here to tell you guys that the pale blue dot is the only master that we've ever known. It kills indiscriminately, and it wants you dead from every fucking angle. So tonight, we're going to take a look at all the ways,
Fuck you,
some of the
pale
ways
blue dot.
the earth wants to kill you right now.
Yeah.
The ground under your feet right now, Scotty, could open up in a fucking sinkhole. You could fall in screaming and be buried under a ton of swamp shit. You know it.
It's true, dude. I
know
can't
what?
deny it.
I'll tell you what, Paul. There's actually
It happens all the time in Florida.
You know the Causeway Bridge, right? Across Lake Pontchartrain. I think at one point, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, because urban legends and stuff exist.
Sure.
But my understanding is that at one point, several of those sections of the bridge fell into a sinkhole.
Yeah, the bridge is built in.
And a bunch of cars just fucking drove off the edge.
If people don't know, the Causeway is a really long bridge around where we live. It's like
A dangerous bridge.
it's like it's a 24-mile bridge.
Used to be the longest in the world.
Yeah,
Until China stole it.
and a lot of people are scared to drive across it because it's built in these sections. Like so as you're going down this bridge, and like on one side the railing was really low, and people would go off and then of course drown and die in the water. And there's no way to help you because if you do this like 8 miles off the bridge, like
You're dead.
yeah, I mean there's no one that's gonna reach you in time. You're fucked. Unless you swim out and can stand against one of the concrete pillars or something. If you're severely injured, that's unlikely.
So every thinking man of science knows that.
Dude, I remember. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I did watch this special one time, where they went through all the rules for how to survive if your car goes underwater, like if you fall off a bridge or something like that, and then they actually like put the dude who was doing the special in a car and then put him in the water.
Did he make it?
And well, he didn't die, but he had to go be saved. The shit that they just told you was how you survived didn't even work.
Damn.
And he just died. He would have died if he hadn't had people there to come and
Got it. So he
rescue
wasn't
oh my
able to
God,
escape.
dude.
Right.
Dude, that's great. So when they're telling you this kind of shit, it's just like you're fucked, but here's something you can do and some, meaningless
Honestly,
attempt.
your best luck would be if you just happen to have your window open when you fell in, because then you could just swim out.
Well, yeah, sure.
But the problem is the pressure keeps the doors from closing. So basically, like the key to surviving, in case anyone wants to know, is you pretty much have to let your car fill up with water and then open, because you're not going to be able to open the door until the pressure is equalized on both sides, like
Right.
the inside and the outside. So you have to let your car actually fill up with water, and then you can open the door and escape.
Or just
But people,
always roll around with your windows down.
Right.
Ah.
But people
There you go.
people basically panic, and they end up drowning in their car before that can happen, if they even know those rules to begin with, which most people probably don't. Anyway, back to the scheduled program.
So any thinking man knows that the Earth is made up of 4 basic elements and nothing else.
Yeah.
Earth,
Wind,
water, fire.
fire. Yeah.
And it wants to kill you with each and every one of them. And I think a lot of people would argue that the most deadly is the one we're looking at right here. It may not be the most spectacular looking, but a lot of people that are experts in this field say that water will kill you quicker than anything else. It's the biggest killer when it comes to the Earth trying to wipe us off the face of the planet.
# ban water.
I tried to find a bunch of natural disasters to talk about tonight, all kind of fitting into that 4 elements that I'd at least never heard of, and I want to see if you guys had heard any of these. So this is a picture of the Ohio River flood in 1937. You guys ever heard that this happened?
No.
I don't believe I have.
So the Ohio River stretches for 981 miles, traverses Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Little interesting aside, the phrase "sold down the river," you guys have heard this?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sold down river, yeah.
Was developed by Kentucky slaves that were transported down the Ohio River to where it fed the Mississippi River to the Deep South.
Okay.
So to be sold down the river meant you were being taken down the Ohio River to the Mississippi River, never to be heard from again.
Damn.
The Underground Railroad actually included narrower sections of the Ohio River between Indiana and Kentucky, so it was used for both. It was used to transport slaves to bondage, and it was used to help slaves escape bondage.
Awkward ships passing on the Ohio River.
Yeah, the slaves going to freedom, waving at the dudes all in chains, heading back down.
Yeah.
Bum luck, buddy. Being an unofficial northern border of the South, the Ohio River has birthed many large, successful cities and was a perfect transportation hub. However, this great resource came at a cost of high flood risk. And in 1937, the Ohio River flood was the worst most local residents had ever seen. How bad was it?
Oh.
I mean, you can see a picture here. I mean, we've seen pictures like this. This area here experienced profound flooding.
Especially during Katrina, yeah.
And has multiple times. The deluge surpassed all previous floods during the 175 years of civilized occupancy of the lower Ohio Valley. There's never been a flood like this in this area on record. Here's some rainfall totals that kind of precipitated this flood. On January 3rd, 1937, cities such as Louisville, Kentucky had 20 inches of rain.
Oh, fuck.
Evansville, Indiana had 15 inches. Cincinnati, Ohio had 14 inches. These records have yet to be beaten to this day. So it was literally just an unprecedented amount of rain dumped in this area.
So like a huge deluge,
Right.
And just fucking unprecedented amounts of rain to this day. Haven't seen anything like it.
And you
Crazy
gotta-
amounts of fucking rain,
and you got to think about it, too.
all along this river.
Right. During a time where, there weren't pretty lax housing codes, if any at all. Not a lot of emergency services set up for stuff like this. This is 1937. It's
Right,
not modern
yeah.
times. So, we saw how hard it was to get food to people and shelter and aid to people in
Right.
Katrina.
I mean,
in
there wasn't
the
even
modern times.
There wasn't even I don't think there was any sort of disaster relief branch of the government at this time.
And
was
there's
there? It
no
was just,
precedence for this kind of flooding. Like, it probably, I mean, if you live by a river, there's going to be minor flooding, at all times of year, especially during the rainy season. But, to experience this kind of flooding, if this happened today, we wouldn't be prepared for it.
So just to bring it down to Louisville, Kentucky, the National Weather Service said that 70% of the city was underwater. And the peak height of the Ohio River in the Louisville area was over 50 feet.
Jesus.
Wow.
So 50 feet worth of river just basically spread out over the entire city in multiple cities along the Ohio River during this.
Crazy.
2/3 of the city's population had to be evacuated. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported that 1/5 of Cincinnati was underwater. It had 80 feet swells in the Cincinnati areas. So parts of Cincinnati were underwater for 19 days.
That's
Electricity and fresh water, totally short supply, as you can imagine. But the nightmare got worse. As the water rose, gas tanks started exploding, and oil fires starting on the rivers. So the rivers are flowing through the streets. Gas tanks start to kind of explode in the shit, putting a bunch of gas in the water.
and then
so now
you have these floating fires all
Right.
over the place.
So the flood
tons
is
of
literally
debris.
on fire, sweeping through neighborhoods.
I mean, it's just. I mean, people don't realize it too. Like disease starts spreading very quickly. There's all these animals that live in these areas. They're suddenly going to be introduced to the same habitat as you. It's just
Right.
insane.
In Illinois, floodwaters reached nearly 30 miles inland. Harrisburg was almost completely destroyed by this flood. There's a historic city of Shawneetown was completely and utterly wiped off the map by this. Property damage in southern Illinois region amounted to more than $75 million in 1932 money. That's $1.2 billion today. Homes were ruined. There were schools smashed. Over 100 bridges were just completely washed away by the floodwaters. I mean, this literally shut this area of the world down for months.
This is basically what happened to New Orleans during Katrina. Like 80% of the city was just totally underwater. So it's like, what can you do? You can't. I mean, it's not even really habitable.
They actually moved. You remember that Shawnee town that I mentioned?
Right.
Yeah. They moved that town. It was so decimated. They literally moved the town 3 miles inland away from the river.
They're like, all right,
You blame them?
we're gonna restart our town,
Yep. They were like, all right,
But-
Shawnee Town 2, Electric Boogaloo.
but on higher ground, way further
They
inland.
literally washed an entire town completely off the map. In Indiana, the river rose to a record 53.74 feet, which was 19 feet above the flood stage. So basically, the city was under 20 feet of water. The city and state declared martial law on January 24th. The federal government sent 4,000 WPA workers to the city to assist rescue operations. Residents were rapidly evacuated from river towns by train and bus in the early stages of the flood, making Indiana the only state to avoid any drowning fatalities, which is kind of shocking.
Really is.
More than 100,000 people were just totally made destitute by the disaster, just left completely penniless, homeless, without a pot to piss in, literally.
That's crazy shit.
This also happened in the middle of the Great Depression.
Right. So people are not even. This is like insult to injury or injury upon injury, really.
Yeah, 300,000 people.
Yep. It's obviously a.
I like how the waters are described here as icy. So I mean, this is not like
It's in January.
It's in January.
Right,
It's
so, I mean,
fucking
this is-
cold water.
So this is icy cold water destroying towns that are already being decimated by economic fucking despair throughout the nation. And I mean, Shawneetown doesn't sound like a very fucking wealthy place,
No.
I'm listening to this. Sirens warn Portsmouth residents to abandon city. I mean, that's just a crazy thing. To
Can you imagine getting that order?
Yeah,
Abandoned city.
It's like, why?
Get the fuck out. Every man for himself. The water's
Hey,
coming.
With what we're facing, humanity's facing in short order, we're going to be getting a lot more
It's
of
a little
these-
preview of the future.
Yeah, abandoned city. That's not going to be something that's going to be getting familiar with
Yeah.
us.
Get used to this headline, folks.
Coastal cities.
Especially if you're
Beware.
younger right now, you're going to see some crazy shit.
Yep. The government and the Army Corps of Engineers, as can imagine, really struggled to help anybody in this.
I mean, it's like, what are you going to do?
The bridges, because the water was so high, were too low to pass under, so they made barriers on the water channel that made it hard to get supplies upriver and soldiers to
It's
help
like fix
people.
one problem, create another.
There were, power lines down all over the city, electrifying big pools of water. I mean, it was a total nightmare. The flood claimed the lives of 385 people, which seems pretty low for such a giant disaster.
I mean, it happens. It sounds like it happened kind of slowly. So
Right. But, the damage that it did to the people in these areas can't be quantified. It left 1 million people without homes.
I mean, and it just the fact that so many people are taken from having something of a stable environment in life to just total. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know, where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. I'm just fucking completely fucked.
And
Right.
and then the neighboring towns and cities are basically inundated with the
Right,
refugees. of these.
refugees, and then there's animosity towards them because people don't like
Yeah, well,
all these interlopers in their towns.
And I mean, suddenly
shit.
imagine all these people living in these new cities.
And the infrastructure
it
can't handle it.
It's just a
So
nightmare.
it's just a misery creating ripple effect
And you
that
can see-
reverberates throughout the entire country.
they didn't have they didn't have the pre-warning abilities. You can see sirens are warning people at the time it's time to abandon the city.
Get out!
There's no, 2 weeks before, hey, fuck, man, the projections are we're going to get a ton of rain. You need to leave town. They couldn't start while, it was still dry and there were still roads to drive on. It's like most people in these areas didn't know what was happening until, half their house was underwater.
The get out of town siren starts blaring, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
What does that even sound like, dude? How do you
I don't know.
differentiate?
Get out! Get out!
What's that siren for? Abandoned city. Oh shit! All right, see ya.
I hope it sounds like the fucking warning, like the red alert
And I mean,
on the bridge of the Enterprise.
I think you have to admit too, with these roads being washed out, people had probably to abandon on foot. It probably wasn't we can drive away.
So do you guys know off the top of your heads what the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history is?
The deadliest in
No, you can't cheat, TJ.
U.S.
You've
history?
got the answer in front of you here.
All right. Well, I do see what the answer is, but I could tell you I wouldn't have got it. Let me just think what I would have said.
Yeah. What do you think the deadliest natural disaster in United States history is?
That's really fucking hard.
Are fires considered a natural disaster?
Well, we're not moving. You can exclude fire.
Okay,
Because we're still talking about water deaths here.
You almost want to feel it was it was an
water
earthquake
deaths.
or a hurricane.
So, I don't know. If I was thinking along those lines, I would have said probably Katrina, because that's the worst one I know.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's probably I have to go with that too. Honestly,
well, I learned in my research that and it's by far the biggest, the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history is the Galveston Hurricane of 1900. I didn't even know that this happened.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I've heard of this.
It's believed that 8,000 people were killed in just the storm. Just completely
the storm.
Erased. And that's not, obviously, numbers aren't accounting for people that were displaced, died of hunger, exposure, blah, blah, blah.
Right, that's just people
we're just
who
talking
died
about people that
right
were
in the storm, right when it
killed
hit.
by the destructive power of the flood and the winds and the 15-foot storm surge. It was a Category 4 hurricane. Winds reached 135 miles an hour and more, and 3,600 buildings were destroyed almost instantly. But the actual number of deaths could be as many as 12,000 people.
Right,
so
they don't have great.
When you're taking
they
into
don't have great
account
record keeping, especially when that happens.
people that weren't directly killed by the storm but were hurt by it, that ended up dying as a result of it. 12,000 people. Hurricane Katrina killed less than 2,000 people.
Right.
So, I mean, by far and away, the worst single natural disaster event that's ever happened on U.S. soil, right here.
Until the super volcano.
And really,
explodes.
it's another water event because a lot of people think what kills you. Oh, it's the winds and shit, dude. It's the fucking storm surge that just comes and creeps up, just boom, and then it just rips everything apart. And it's underwater, and you're just dead.
And while Mother Nature may be the villain in this story, she had some help due to some nice, big, fat, stupid Texas bureaucrats.
Of course.
The storm was powerful. Many of the casualties, though, could have been avoided. The Weather Bureau, which became the National Weather Service later, predicted that the storm would land much further east, so they were just wrong. Warnings from Cuba. So Cuba was lighting up the fucking warning signals going, hey, there's a fucking giant storm heading straight for you. But kind of in a sense of bravado and pride, they were just like, oh, fuck Cuba. They don't know where it's going east. It's not coming for Galveston.
Cuba don't know shit.
It's said that the Bureau's director, Willis Moore, was so jealous of the Cubans that he just shut off the flow of data from Cuba. He was just like, nah. No. We're going to watch this storm ourselves. We're Americans. We're the weather service in America. We know how to watch a storm, okay? Fuck you, talking about this devastating fucking eye of God that's moving directly towards us. We're not listening
Let's
to you.
help these Americans. Fuck them.
At the same time, he also told regional U.S. forecasters that they could not go on their own. They could not issue on their own a hurricane warning, that they had to go through Washington, which in 1900, not the easiest thing to do.
It's like,
Send
fuck,
the
man.
carrier pigeon.
So he said that, of course, after the hurricane had killed all these people.
Right. It's like, hey, blame bureaucracy. Not my fault that I cut off data from Cuba. And look, because the motherfucker, you can sit there all day and say, well, it's against the rule. I mean, if you really fucking know the hurricane's coming, you issue that fucking warning whether it's okay by the rules or not to do.
And a lot of these pictures being from the 1900s are not great, but it looks like an atom bomb went off in this town. The only thing standing...
The church.
The stone church. You know
Obviously, no. Not because it's stone, Paul, but because it's protected by God.
Got it.
Jesus done it.
So many vacationers were in town.
Ooh.
Residents of the city, they were largely unprepared for the hurricane that slammed into it on September 9th, 1900. Unfortunately, the little warning Galveston did get was mostly ignored, as I said. On Friday, September 7th.
People, classic hurricane area fucking mentality of just like, eh.
Yeah. So 2 days before, on September 7th, they got a storm warning from the Weather Bureau, which, they were used to getting these. They weren't told that a giant world-destroying hurricane was coming. They're just like, oh, look out, there's going to be a storm in a couple of days. And that's basically all the preparation they had. As the sun set that night, the very night that that storm warning went out, large swells were rising in the Gulf and clouds began to roll in from the north. The following morning, a single-paragraph story with a headline that read, "Storm in the Gulf," appeared in the newspaper, but once again, you know what I mean? The amount of it was not like we need to evacuate town. This is coming straight for us. It was just like, oh, there's a storm a-brewing out there. Might catch some rain.
The hubris of man.
Residents were similarly complacent when Galveston's Weather Bureau raised its hurricane flags. After all, people said Galveston had survived storms before. So it's kind of this hubris of like, yeah, we get these. It's like it is around here.
We're going to be fine.
We get these fucking hurricanes, you know what I mean? They come in a couple of times. Yeah. So, yeah, that next picture there, that's Isaac M. Klein, a Weather Bureau official, would later say that he drove his horse-drawn buggy through Galveston's neighborhoods just yelling, trying to urge people to seek shelter. But even Klein didn't believe there was cause for serious concern, though, writing in 1891 that it would be impossible for any cyclone to create a storm wave which would materially injure this city. He hadn't even supported the failed movement to build a seawall to protect Galveston from just such an event.
Oops.
It should be noted that Klein survived the storm, but his words went on to haunt him for the rest of his life.
Of course they did.
Yeah, I think we know his punishment.
So early in the morning on September 9th, this Cat 4 hurricane makes landfall in Galveston, brings massive, waves, storm surges. The highest point in the low flat city was less than 9 feet above sea level. The storm surge was well over 15 feet. So literally the entire city of Galveston, Texas was underwater. None of this like, 80% of the city's got some flooding. It's like the whole fucking city is just underwater, and much of it is flattened.
Seawall, huh? Yeah, too expensive.
Yeah, the prototypical Republican. I liked this picture because it just looks like some Texans sitting there.
Damn.
But these are some people sitting out in front of what used to be their house, I guess.
I'll tell you what, Margaret, I still don't regret voting against that damn seawall, boondoggle.
I'm alive. I made it.
So it was so bad that the measurement
thinned
systems
out the damn herd. Well, not really thinned it out.
Yeah, it didn't thin out much of anything.
Fattened up the herd.
Fattened out the herd a little bit.
Dude,
only the fat will survive.
This modern idea that Texans started to get fat in like the 70s and 80s shit
clearly
is just,
proven wrong here.
This is 1900, and look at this blubbergumptious motherfucker. He's got segments like you. He's got three full-blown... He's got a segmento on there.
I guarantee this dude ate way better than we did.
Oh, yeah. He was just drinking bacon grease every day.
Without any regard.
Give me a damn bacon grease Sunday, Margaret.
So the weather building's measurements device was blown off the building during the storm. So the job of estimating wind speeds has been left to modern scientists who believe the storm may have reached maximum sustained winds of 145 miles an hour. Once again, at a time where there's no building codes to speak of, at least not modern ones.
Not really.
No real, emergency response set up. Obviously, there was no evacuation plan for this. So people were just literally sitting in their homes, and then their homes blew up.
It's like, imagine any critical event that you really need to prepare for. Suddenly, you're just thrust into that event. And, how would you react? It's like, okay, there's 5 feet of water above your house. What are you going to do?
80% of the population of Galveston was instantly homeless. So it's just like, as soon as the storm hit, 80% of the people that lived in this town had literally nowhere to go for shelter. Galveston and as many as 1 in 5 people were killed, just like that. Cleanup crews would later say that the stench of the bodies would spread for miles and miles outside of the city.
Yeah.
So people were just rotting underneath their rubble of their houses when all of this was over. Farther north, the storm and its remnants continued to produce heavy rains, gusty winds, which drowned telegraph wires, signs, and trees in several states, making rescue efforts harder because, the places that this rescue would have come through were inundated with the remnants of the storm. And I just like this picture for how apocalyptic it is.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of a contemporary artist's rendition of what was happening in Galveston during the storm. You can just see the ocean just kind of swallowed the city, basically.
There's like a fucking couple of waterfalls and just everything, just debris strewn everywhere.
I mean,
like
people are being blown off their feet. Horses are being washed away in the water. There's ships being just blown inland, crashing into the houses.
And if you look on the top, you even see like the artist even put like just like the rain. It's just like sheets of rain just coming in sideways and just
absolutely
pelting you.
Just decimating the city. So I did not know that. That is the most deadly natural disaster in American history, the Galveston Hurricane. Now you know.
Wild.
But water's not done with you yet. You may think, okay, we had a couple of big floods, big sea swells, big river swells. Look at this lake. No river feeding it, right? Just kind of a nice, placid lake. How could this lake possibly kill you, other than you being stupid and going and drowning in the lake? The lake has got no control over that.
Jason Voorhees pops out.
Yeah,
that could happen. You got a point there. However, not in this case.
Oh.
Now, as I learned, lakes are pretty dangerous places.
Oh.
Thousands of people can get swept away by sudden surges, and mostly in the case of lakes that are fed by other, rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Undercurrents, icy undercurrents can kill people. But some lakes will kill you even when you're on dry land. And Lake Nyos in Cameroon, Africa, is just one of those lakes. So this is Lake Nyos in Cameroon. This lake, unbeknownst to the people that lived there at the time, was formed by a volcanic explosion that left this huge crater.
Okay.
Which filled with rain and tributary water as time went by. Today, this crater still has an active volcano at the base, and it constantly kind of bubbles out carbon dioxide into the water above it. There are many crater lakes like this across the globe where CO2 is dissolved into the water, and due to the tide of the lake, it's subsequently released from the surface. However, Lake Nyos is totally placid. Super calm lake. It's never really stirred up by anything. All of the little, tributaries that feed it are tiny little rivers, tiny little rainfall things, so it's never disturbed. And so in that case, when nothing is keeping the water churning, the CO2 just kind of builds up under the surface of the water. And it just gets more and more concentrated until eventually it just explodes out of the water in a giant cloud. So it builds up to deadly concentrations at the bottom of the lake. So in 1986, this is exactly what happened.
Oh, shit.
And though the exact cause is still unknown to this day, the eruption devastated all the surrounding villages. Some 1.6 million tons of CO2 was just suddenly released in about 20 seconds from the murky waters, and it spread over the surrounding areas. Because CO2 is much heavier than air, it stayed real close to the ground, prime strangling distance. Over 1,700 people just kind of suffocated in their homes. They didn't even know it was happening. In fact, I think if you go to the next picture, TJ, there were a bunch of these. This is just how they found one of the people that died in this.
Just sitting on a chair.
Yep.
Just all of a sudden, hey, CO2.
Eating a meal.
Yeah, just, sitting there and then just like, I don't feel so good, and then just blah, dead.
Over 3,500 precious livestock. So this is in Africa. So you can imagine these people live and die on their animals.
Yeah.
All the livestock was killed in this. And it wiped out people more than 25 kilometers away.
15 miles.
Right. So 15 miles away, people just died in their homes.
A bunch of CO2 is just released. You're just fucking living your life, and suddenly you can't breathe and you're dead.
Just a big cloud of toxic fumes just spreading across a 15-mile or so radius and just strangling everything.
What does someone even think about this? I mean, like if you're involved, just like you just can't breathe, and that's it. I mean, it's just like... I guess we just take it for granted how conditions for life that the conditions we need to exist are just pretty much universally around us.
A lake 15 miles away killed you in your chair without you even knowing what was going on.
I mean,
and you'll never know. It's just like dead.
Right. Now there's kind of a silver lining to this story. Today there are degassing solutions in place at Lake Nyos to prevent this ever happening again.
Right.
But measurements from the lake show that CO2 levels are higher today than they were in 1986.
Right.
And should the natural dam found at the end of the lake fail, which is it's in danger of doing, the nearby villages would not only be flooded but poisoned too.
All right,
So-
hey, guys, I know that
Let's all move. Let's all move.
I know you're in Africa and like shit's hard and all that, but like you might want to fucking keep an eye. I mean, like I don't know, man.
Get 30
Keep
40
an-
miles away from Death Lake.
Yeah, either move far away or invest in that fucking system. I don't know. Figure something out.
No, look, man, you tell me I got one threat, like, man, it could flood or you could get poisoned. Like, that sounds really bad, but it's like you could get
Poison
flooded.
flood.
Yeah, poison
Like
flood.
the poisonous flood.
Yeah, I think I'm going to
Eh.
leave, man. I can't fight two things.
I'm good on this.
So
let's move a few more miles away.
Yep. Now we've talked about water. Let's talk a little bit about fire.
Fire.
Because fire will kill you in some cases quicker than water will.
Yeah.
Now this fire is interesting. I never knew about this fire that we're about to talk about, and there's some kind of interesting background around it. Now it happened on the same exact day as a fire that I have heard of and know a little bit about, the Chicago Fire
Yeah.
of 1871.
And they're not related at all, other than they
Well,
happen on the same day.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But this is the Peshtigo Fire in the little town of Peshtigo, Wisconsin. And it claimed more lives than any other forest fire in U.S. history.
Okay.
The blaze ignited on October 8th and raced throughout the area, burning 1.2 million acres. At least 1,152 people were just killed by the fire. So just burned alive or, trapped in somewhere and cooked alive or however.
Suffocated on the smoke.
Right,
something like that.
suffocated on the smoke, right. Some estimates place the death toll way closer to 2,500. So somewhere between, 1,100 people and 2,500 people were just outright killed by this fire.
Right.
So an interesting thing, like I said, it occurred the same day as the Great Chicago Fire, which totally overshadowed this fire in news coverage. Even though this fire was way more deadly in terms of loss of life, the Chicago Fire, because it was a big city burning, ate up all the media attention.
Well, of course.
Right.
Way more people to sell to.
So it's not really known exactly how this fire started, and there's some controversy about it.
Oh, okay.
At this time, the setting of small fires was a common way to clear forest land for farming
So
and
someone might
railroad
have set
construction.
this.
Right. On the day of the Peshtigo Fire, a cold front moved in from the west, brought strong winds that just fanned the flames out of control, and escalated to massive proportions. A firestorm ensued. So I didn't know that firestorm was a real thing. I thought firestorm
It's just
was
like a phrase.
I thought it was a military terminology for when
Okay.
you bomb out a village or, we unleashed a firestorm. No, this is actually a storm that happens to hit and combine with a fire to combine the attributes of a normal storm with a fire. So it's
It's
like
horrifying, dude.
in a storm, you've got these huge winds. In a firestorm, the winds is on fire.
All right.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
That just feels like game over, dude. Doesn't it? It's
Yeah,
like, what
it's
are you
time
going to do?
All right. Well, I'm
fucked,
dead.
dude.
You know what are you gonna do,
The
man?
firestorm is here.
So, in the words of
firestorm warning.
two meteorologists, Guess and Lutz, a firestorm is superheated flames of at least 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit that advance on winds of 110 miles an hour or stronger. The diameter of such a fire ranges from 1,000 to 10,000 feet, but when a firestorm erupts in a forest, it's a blow-up. It's like nature's nuclear explosion. So that's really
Awesome, man.
That's really the closest thing that I could find that people would compare a real firestorm to. Is when you think about just this devastation rushing out from the central point of the fire so quickly that nobody can really react to it.
Yeah.
And as you can see in artist representations of the Peshtigo Fire, people were, like these other ones that we talked about, caught completely unaware by this. It wasn't like they were like, hey, the fire's getting kind of close. Maybe we ought to get out. It was just like all of a sudden the wind was on fire and everything around them was on fire. And they were left very little time to evacuate from this.
Yeah, it's just like, you're sitting around minding your own business, and then bam, hey, it's fire. I'm here now. What you gonna do? What's up? Everything around you's on fire. Enjoy.
Yep.
Try to fight your way onto a boat, I guess.
Yep.
It's like a lot of people are like, let's get in the water. Doesn't look like it's working out though.
It didn't for many of
It
them.
looks like a lot of them are dying there.
By the time it was over, about 1,875 square miles were burned. That's 1.2 million acres. It was an area 50% larger than Rhode Island. Was just scorched to ashes. In fact, I saw a quote from this fire by one of the people that miraculously survived it, that said, people were asking him, like, what was it like? And, was there ashes everywhere? He told them even the ashes were gone. So this storm, because it was coupled with such high winds, it burned and then blew everything away. And it just left like this moonscape
It
behind
just like
it.
Thanos'd everything.
Right.
Just like,
That's insane, man.
So the 1873 report of the Wisconsin legislature listed 1,182 names of dead or missing residents. In 1870, the town of Peshtigo had 1,749 residents. So it's basically everybody in town was just killed by this.
dead.
More than 350 bodies were buried in a mass grave, primarily because so many people had died that there was nobody alive that could identify them.
Right. So just entire like families, just like
yeah,
you're gone,
families
gone, dead. No
So
one's
it's
even
a-
there to mourn you.
This
'cause
is a
The late 1800s, people lived locally, and pretty much everybody that you knew was dead in this, so there was no way for them to know who was who. Bodies were charred so badly that medical science at the time couldn't distinguish one from another. There were no records that would help with that, so they were just kind of thrown in a pit. On the same day, so we're talking about the same day of the Chicago fire, the same day of the Peshtigo fire. There was also a third fire,
Jesus.
the Great Michigan Fire. Same day, October 8th, 1871, was the Great Michigan Fire and the Port Huron Fire. The Great Michigan Fire was a series of simultaneous forest fires in the state of Michigan that were possibly caused or at least reinforced by the same winds that fanned the Great Chicago Fire. So, same storm blew more fire over another giant area of the country. In addition to the fires originated in Michigan, the Peshtigo firestorm in Wisconsin crossed the Menominee River and burned in Menominee County, Michigan. More than 3,900 square miles were burned in Michigan, so even more than in the Peshtigo fire. Not only was the land burnt and left barren, thousands of buildings, houses, barns, stores, mills were destroyed with no lumber left to rebuild. So all of the shit that they normally would have rebuilt the town with was also burned.
yeah.
So there was just, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
There's nothing.
Just hundreds upon hundreds of whole families were homeless. The extent of property loss, animal deaths, and forest devastation has never been determined.
Dude, this is fucking crazy. This graphic you have here says there's a prolonged drought, and they're using fucking fire
Yep.
to clear fucking land for agriculture. And there's strong winds. It's like it's just so crazy how like humans can be so dumb that we'll do this shit to ourselves. Like the land's real dry. Let's start a bunch of fires.
Yep. And then just, the right storm blows
Yeah.
in, and you're in a literal firestorm. Also unknown about this fire is the total loss of life. Some estimates put it as low as 500, but they were largely based on families reporting their members missing.
Right. So if your whole family's dead, no
right.
one's reporting shit.
In 1871 in Michigan, there were hundreds to thousands of lumberjacks and salesmen spread out, making it impossible to total the loss. Because these fires happened in the day other estimates of the Great Michigan Fire, death toll is lower than the Great Chicago Fire's estimate of 200 to 300 dead. So there's some theories about these fires, because people think it's not just happenstance that these three giant fires kind of
Happened at the same
happened
time.
in a path. And there's long been kind of a comet theory about this.
The Comet Theory.
Some speculation suggested in 1883 that the occurrence of the Peshtigo and Chicago fires, in addition to the Michigan fire we just talked about, on the same day was not just coincidence, but that all the major fires that occurred in Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin on that day were caused by the impact from fragments of Biela's comet. This theory was revived in a 1985 book, studied in a 1997 documentary, and investigated later in a 2004 paper to the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. Scientists with expertise in the area argue that meteorites really can't ignite a fire, that they're cold to the touch when they reach the Earth's surface, and that there's never been a credible report of a fire anywhere having been started by a meteorite. But,
Looks like it's on fire there to me.
Additionally, various aspects of the behaviors of the Chicago and Peshtigo fires caused some form of extraterrestrial-based theories, so a lot of people think it was aliens what done it.
Yeah. Why would aliens come across the galaxy to start a fire?
Let's see how we react, dude.
Dude, maybe they were pissed at us. I don't know.
There's like, burn some of their cities.
They want to see how we're gonna react. Like, you know what? Let's give the humans this challenge and see what they do. And they saw we fucking failed, so you know what they did? They said, "Huh?
They ain't ready yet.
Whatever.
They ain't ready.
Come back in a few hundred years."
Test them again later.
So whether it was aliens or just stupid people clear cutting and using fire to clear farmland, I think it's pretty evident that fire can fuck you up right quick under the right circumstances. But let's move on from fire for a moment, and let's talk about the ground beneath our feet itself, Earth.
I feel like we're going to summon Captain Planet at some point here.
Heart.
So we'll talk a little bit about this picture in a second, and let's talk about what happened. So on May 31st, 1970, a 7.9 magnitude earthquake struck the coast of Peru.
That's a pretty bad earthquake.
Yeah. Today, it's known as the Great Peruvian Earthquake. It killed over 70,000 people.
Right.
Fuck.
The earthquake itself was devastating. It also triggered further deadly landslides and avalanches, specifically an avalanche on the Peruvian mountain of Huascaran. So that's what we're looking at here.
Okay.
The earthquake was so severe that it caused a major part of the mountain's north face, about 900 meters across, to collapse. So in this picture, you can see the missing section of the mountain on the left-hand side. See how that mountain on the left is kind of jagged?
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
That's a big
That's a big fucking
mountain.
chunk of mountain that's gone right
That
there.
whole thing basically just fell on the people that lived around the base of it.
Ugh.
Half the mountain just
Yep.
fell.
Just fell right on them.
So this wave of mountain is estimated to have been between 50 to 100 million cubic meters of water, mud, and rock that hurtled down the mountain at 193 kilometers per hour. That's 120 miles per hour in just 45 seconds. Nothing in the world could survive such a colossal avalanche, and tragically, pretty much nothing did. The avalanche tore through the village of Yungay, killing almost all of its 25,000 inhabitants. And it also just utterly destroyed smaller settlements of Ranrica. Only 350 residents of Yungay survived, 300 of which were children who had been taken to see a circus at a stadium that was out of town.
Well, fucking, thank God the fucking
was a
circus was in
That
town,
sounds
man.
like about 50 people actually survived this event.
Yep. There were about 50 people that were residents of Yungay that walked out. Once again, a city of over 25,000 people.
That's
So a huge chunk of the people that were killed in this earthquake were just the people that this mountain fell on. And you can see, this is a picture taken from the air after the event, and down at the base of the mountain, that giant pile of debris and shit, that was a
that
city.
was a town, yeah.
That was a city.
Yeah.
That was, 25, 30,000 people lived there. And you literally can't even see a building anymore.
Yeah.
So today, Yungay has been rebuilt
Why?
about 1 mile north of the ruins.
Oh, okay.
Which have been declared a national cemetery by the Peruvian government. Once again, everybody that anybody knew was killed in this. So,
Right.
and they
Your
were already
whole-
buried.
I mean, it is really.
Your whole town is dead. I mean, yeah.
So many of the people that died in this are still just buried underneath it, a mile and a half away from the new Yungay town. So you can still visit the buried town today and pay respects to those who lost their lives in the deadliest avalanche ever recorded.
Crazy.
There was never an avalanche in the history of avalanches that killed more people than this, quicker than this. And I'd never heard of it.
Me neither. No, I never heard of any of this stuff you're talking about in this.
So we have an earthquake literally dropping a mountain on people. What about the good old volcano? You know I love a volcano.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't?
That's your fucking kink, man.
I mean, who doesn't love a fucking volcano?
Jerk off
dude?
as you get thrown into the volcano.
So have either of you ever heard of the eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815?
I have not.
No.
It's an Indonesian island of Sumbawa. There was a mountain on it called Tambora. It was home to nearly 1.5 million people. Copper and gold mines were all over it. And there was a high volcano called Mount Tambora, which was erupted and was responsible for the deaths of between 70,000 and 100,000 people.
So huge death toll.
So the death toll is definitely rising from our earlier death tolls. We're talking about 100,000 people were just obliterated by this. This was not an eruption like you see in the movies where lava just came pouring down the mountain, or even an eruption where it just shot ash up into the sky. This mountain quite literally just exploded.
Oh my fucking.
It produced 175 cubic kilometers of volcanic debris, ash and other rock. How much is that? You could bury all of the playing surface of Fenway Park in Boston 81,544 miles deep in ash. Think about that. You could bury it was enough ash to like literally pile up and travel the earth 2 or 3 times. That distance would make it around the world twice, like I said. You could bury the state of Rhode Island in 183 feet of ash, or Singapore in 805 feet of ash. So this was just a tremendous amount of material was immediately ejected into the atmosphere. And
Just no, I mean, like it's amazing the death toll isn't higher, honestly.
I mean, just totally inundates and just crushes everything underneath it. I mean, that's just insane.
But the destruction didn't stop there, as Mount Tambora ejected over 150 cubic kilometers of ash, rock, and aerosols, as well as 60 megatons of sulfur into the Earth's atmosphere. This dense gray material reached as high as the stratosphere and mixed with all sorts of atmospheric gases, stopping the sun, basically. This resulted in a global cooling event that reduced the average temperature of the entire world by 3 degrees Celsius. While this may seem like an insignificant difference in the temperature, it had a huge impact on the world, resulted in failed crops, and led to widespread famine. So even people on this island, like if you were outside of the range of this island, it just caused famine all over the world. It literally cooled the world to the point where crops were fucking up and people were starving because of it.
So, I mean, also this event probably actually killed millions.
Yes. This huge volcanic burp also played havoc with the weather, causing heavy snowfalls all over the world, lethal frost spells in the summer months of countries, resulting in further fatalities. To top it all off, the Mount Tambora eruption actually turned the sky red and made 1816 the now infamous year without a summer. So, a truly global event here, even though this local area, as you can see,
yeah, I mean, obviously they suffered insane devastation being
you lived
so near, but I mean, like, we're talking about an event that literally affected the entire planet.
I mean, it cooled the entire fucking planet.
3 degrees Celsius.
That's pretty crazy.
Which I don't know how many degrees that is Fahrenheit,
it's
but
about
it's more.
5.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right. You know, so we're talking
Seems
about
small, but
it really doesn't, because I mean, you know, we know that with this climate change stuff that's happening now, how big a difference a small change in temperature
and of course
can
that's
be.
a global temperature average. So on the average,
right,
places were 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit cool.
But yeah, there were places that were affected more.
30, 40, 50, you know what I mean?
Well, it changed the climate pattern, so then suddenly places they need rainfall. They're not getting rainfall. You know,
places where usually it's summer and you're reliant on, you know, whatever crops are growing or something. You know, all of a sudden it's like, oh no, all the crops are dead because this unexpected summer frost that's just ravaging the lands. You know,
so if you lived inside the circle here, you were pretty much dead instantly. This mountain just exploded and dropped itself on this entire area. You were drowned in ash. It sent tsunamis in every direction. So in addition to the volcanic ash falling on your head and rocks and shit falling out of the sky, giant waves just basically inundated all these places.
Right. Also, not to mention the gases that's releasing, you're not going to be able to breathe.
Sent tsunamis out in every direction.
I mean, there's no way. You're dead.
So I also read that this could happen at any time, especially in this region of the world.
Right.
From what I could read, this is on track to happen again somewhere, and if it does, it's more than likely going to happen right here on these Indonesian islands.
Right. Well, we even have the Yellowstone caldera as well. That's, you know, this giant super volcano that, you know, could potentially erupt at any time.
Could blow at any moment.
Right, and it would be a similar event to this, where it's a violent explosion that's going to affect the entire world.
Right. According to what I am, and hey, maybe it might help us out. Maybe this will happen at the height of global warming, and it'll balance out our temperatures.
Nature responds. Okay.
So we've talked about water, we've talked about fire. Now we've talked about how the Earth itself can rise up. What about the air you breathe? What about the final element, air? Now, I don't know about you guys. I'm scared. I like these natural disasters. I'm scared of them, though. It's a super scary thought for me to have.
There's a fear, but there's a fascination.
Of course.
And that's why you have storm chasers. People that are just like obsessed with like just seeing these storms and capturing it so other people can see it. And it's fascinating to look at because just like, damn, that person's really risking something. I guess it's kind of the danger. You know what I mean? Like, you have to admire the power of nature and just be like, you know, what if this thing turns towards me? I'm fucked.
And probably the thing that has always I've been fascinated by these giant disasters since I was a little kid. I used to have recurring dreams about tidal waves coming up over the mountains when I lived. I had recurring dreams about tornadoes. And far and away, the tornado to me for its money, is the most awesome display of this kind of devastation that can happen. It's literally the sky meeting the ground and just tearing everything up. And when it comes to tornadoes, there's one Billy Badass in the history of tornadoes. We're talking worldwide here. And it's this one here, the Tri-State Tornado of 1925.
Wow. Like a tornado, that's a crazy fucking tornado. A 219-mile trek.
We'll talk about it. It holds a lot of records.
I mean, that is insane.
So it occurred on March 18th, 1925, during a major outbreak of tornadoes in the area. This is the deadliest tornado in the history of the United States, and holds many other infamous records. We'll go over those. If you've ever watched the movie Twister, this should scare you. This tornado was not rated, and most tornado experts agree that this was definitely an F5 tornado.
Which is,
on the Fujita scale.
Right, so that's like basically the most insane. That's the highest level a tornado can be.
They call it in the movie the finger of God.
Right, because it destroys everything it touches.
Now, there's some debate over whether this was a single tornado or just a series of tornadoes, but most people seem to agree that this was one single tornado event that happened. Its path is pretty much unbroken from where it started to touchdown to where it finally ended.
And it looks like it went through quite a lot of cities,
Well,
too.
it's called the Tri-State Tornado, so it literally crossed through 3 states. You can see here.
But I mean, I'm saying it looked like it hit a lot of fucking cities along the way.
It did. I mean, it dead on smack.
You see, Ellington is pretty close to it. Annapolis, Beale, Gorham, DeSoto, Murfreesboro, Parrish, West Frankfort, Griffin, Owensville, Princeton, all these places getting slammed.
So it is the second deadliest tornado in world history. The other tornado that was deadlier happened in India.
No shit.
It's the deadliest tornado by far in Illinois history. 613 people in Illinois were killed.
Yeah.
The deadliest tornado in Indiana history with 71 deaths. It was the 5th costliest tornado in U.S. history. It was the longest-lasting tornado in world history. There's never been a tornado that was tracked that was on the ground for a longer stretch. It has the longest damage path of a tornado. It's between 151 and 235 miles of just utter devastation. And it had the highest forward wind speed. So it was moving faster than any tornado that we've ever seen either.
It was moving at
basically highway speed.
Right. It was
73 miles an hour.
And it's just going. And I mean, if you look here, these stats along the side of this graphic here, it talks about the percentages of each of these towns was destroyed. Annapolis, it says 90% of the town was destroyed. Beale was 100% destroyed. Gorham was 100% destroyed. Murfreesboro got off easy with 40%. DeSoto 30%. West Frankfort 20%. Parrish, 90% was destroyed. Griffin, 100%. Owensville, it's not known. And Princeton was about 25% destroyed.
I mean, if you go with the 90% round, it wiped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities off the map, including Annapolis, Missouri.
Right, just gone.
Just
devastated, completely fucking, nothing left.
And the only reason it's not 100% for every town is just simply where it hit in the town.
Right, how it went through the town.
Yeah.
So these are some
this
pictures.
This is just this just looks like someone just...
It looks like an atom bomb.
Yeah, it looks like someone just scraped a bunch of fucking infrastructure and houses just right off the map.
Yep, and there's no water involved in this one. There was some rain, but there was no real flooding with this one. It was just literally the wind came down and blew these places away.
Durham home, all family killed. And I mean, I don't even see where the home was.
Right,
you
can see
there
some chunks of timber
yeah.
that might have been part of a home at some point, but it's literally, there's not a twig standing on top of another twig here anymore to let you know that there would have been a home here.
I can't see where the foundation was. I'm assuming maybe these people are gathered around it.
Probably people doing search and rescue or neighbors congregating to talk about what the fuck they're all going to do. I pulled a bunch
Here's
of these.
another one of these. Brown home, all family killed.
It's another place where
you can barely tell where a home was.
It's just rubble at that point. It's just debris.
And just everyone's dead. Your entire family's dead. There's no... I don't know. To me, it's always like a little bit fucking crazier when it's just like everybody's wiped out. Because there's not even anyone to go carry on or even like mourn the dead.
Yeah,
you're
like,
just... You and everyone you know just... you're
it's
erased.
It's kind of fucked up if like you actually know that. If you knew that family, it's like, don't even tell. It's just kind of like, well, they're dead now, so let's just... try to find their bodies and bury them. That's all we can really do.
Yep. I think there might be one more picture, maybe.
One further picture.
Yep. It's another house.
Holmes home, 2 killed. So maybe someone survived it, or maybe there was only 2 people.
They might have had a bunker that somebody was able to get to. Somebody was out of town. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I think tornadoes, too, and I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I feel like because The Wizard of Oz is such an iconic movie, there's like a part of an American sort of mythology around like the tornado.
Well, you got to understand how scary these events would be to the people. I mean, they're scary
Right.
now. They're I mean, you see footage from tornadoes ripping through cities, and it's
By
terrifying.
the way, for my money, still the best cinematic depiction of a fucking tornado.
What, Twister?
No, not fuck Twister. I'm talking about fucking Wizard of Oz, dude.
The power of the Twister.
Oh,
TJ.
come on.
No, dude. I mean, it holds up to this day. I'm telling you.
It's decent, but not as good as Twister, dude. Twister had the best tornado effects, TJ.
Dude.
Eh.
Who doesn't love Twister, TJ?
Twister's a great movie.
Twister kind of sucks. It's really
What?
most of Twister is kind of just about Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton fucking arguing with each other.
It's about science, TJ.
Yeah. It's about a lone scientist that's trying to save people from this very thing,
Dude.
TJ.
Okay.
Look, TJ, if you ask Paul what his
Twister is the first movie that I was
TJ,
allowed
look-
to go see without an adult
Hey,
accompanying me.
check it
So
out.
That's kind of cool.
It's an awesome one to pick.
It's not bad. It was a cool movie to see by myself. Like the first movie I'm allowed to see without, mom coming in and fucking supervising or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you know what, TJ? You've changed, man. You
What?
say you used to fucking love Twister. Then it became popular to hate on Twister. Now you fucking hate it, dude.
Who the fuck is hating on Twister?
You're hating on it, TJ.
I know I am, but you're making it sound like it's part of some
There's
big
a-
trend of like
There's a
Twister
fucking
haters out
government
there.
fucking conspiracy
I think
against
most
Twister.
people have forgotten the movie Twister even happened, dude.
You know
Not
what?
me.
Actually, when I remembered it again, it was back like one time I went to like Universal Studios, and it was like the power of the Twister. They had like a Twister ride. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go through this, and it's just really lame. You walk around, you see a bad VHS.
What did you expect him to do? Put you in a real Twister?
Yes.
Slap you in the face with a cow that's flying by and shit?
Nah, dude. So you end up going to this room.
I think they
with,
should
like,
have put you in like a fake car
They're like,
and then have it spin
beep,
around
beep.
with all the like CG.
Yeah, I was
around
hoping
you
for
and
some shit like that, like prepare for the power of the Twister. And the ride had become dilapidated. It's like, woo, it's like some really lame windstorm. Then some
Lame.
shit catches fire, and it's like, fear the power of a Twister. Like a few drops of water hit you in the face. That's basically
like
the
shit.
It was. They got rid of it.
It was probably way more exciting to be in this Twister.
Yes, definitely.
But, sometimes air doesn't have to be that overtly destructive. A Twister is like, like I said, the finger of God reaching down and just wiping these places
Getting
off the
finger
map.
banged by gold.
But it
Like
turns
that,
out
bitch?
air can be even deadlier without even, causing a giant storm to come blow your house away. And this one, I was shocked I didn't know the extent of this one. Now, I probably heard something about this one when it was going on because it's a relatively recent event.
It's a heat wave.
In fact, the deadliest heat wave.
Oh, the French heat wave, right?
Yeah, well, this was all of Europe, basically.
Well, yeah.
But yes. The deadliest heat wave this side of the most recent ice age occurred less than 13 years ago and within living memory of almost all of us. The 2003 heat wave was caused by a combination of many things, though mostly by an anticyclone, which I didn't even know exist, that hovered above Western Europe, slowly rotating clockwise and bringing hot, dry, tropical air from the east of the continent all over the Western countries. Other factors, such as the lingering effects of the 2002 El Nino, which I remember hearing a lot about.
Yeah, El Nino, that was a big thing.
It was an unusually active African monsoon season, and the effects of global climate change also contributed to this unseasonal heat wave.
Liberal lies.
So it's pretty staggering how many people died in this. And also pretty staggering that when I went looking for pictures from this time, if you go look for 2003 European heat wave, you will find nothing but pictures of this right here. People literally in the fountain at the base of the statue of, or the
Statue of
tower
Liberty right there.
Eiffel Tower,
The Statue of Liberty.
whatever it is,
The Eiffel fucking
the Eiffel
Tower.
Tower, just swimming and just congregating there all day long and staying in the water, which to me makes it seem like it was just a water park.
Whee!
It was just like an unusually hot day. But this is really all the pictures that I could find that represent it. Were just different photos at various points during the heat wave of Parisians bathing in this fountain. But in actuality, over 70,000 people were killed by this.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
We're talking heat exhaustion, dehydration, heat stroke.
Well, a lot of places in Europe don't have air conditioning.
Right. So, I mean, they're particularly...
Sucks to be
I
them.
mean, here we especially areas where we're prone to this type of heat. Now, there are areas here, if they got a big heat wave, could probably have similar devastation. Like where we were living in Washington. A lot of
yeah.
homes in Washington don't bother with air conditioner or central air because it's just not needed. It never gets. You open up a window and it's fine. You know, I lived in a pretty pricey apartment in downtown Bellevue. No AC. My AC was propping my window open, and I had a fan that would suck air from the outside in. And that was all I needed. I mean, it never got uncomfortably hot in my house.
Yeah.
So like I said, 70,000 people died. Spain, France, and Italy lost over 55,000 citizens combined. As the summers are not usually too extreme in France, the situation soon turned into a crisis where the death toll became so high that mortuaries were running out of space for the bodies. At its peak, some cities had resorted to storing corpses in refrigerated warehouses outside the city
If
limits.
only those people could have found their way into those refrigerated warehouses before they died.
They
I
would've
know.
survived.
If only they could have made their way to the little fountain at the base of the fucking
They'd be fine.
Statue of Liberty here. Yeah, good old Statue of Liberty.
There actually is a Statue of Liberty in France.
Is there? Is it
Or-
as cool as ours?
It's the same.
It's the mirror image?
Yeah, well, they made multiples.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It's the same thing?
yeah, they got it in
Man,
France.
fuck you, France.
They just gave us their yeah, you can have the
I know
prototype.
they gave it to us, but they made one for themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me see what it's called. I don't know if it's called the Statue of Liberty, but it's there. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty is a replica. Is at the far end of Leo Signes, something
Okay.
like that.
It's got a shit
Isle of
name.
Swans. It's a small artificial island on the River Seine.
Is there a
in-
picture of it?
Yeah, I
Yeah, there's
mean,
pictures of it.
I want to see a picture of the fucking... I didn't know that there was a twin Statue of
Dude,
Liberty.
I remember when this
Yeah.
heat wave went on, dude. The thing was like I remember just being an American. I'm like, well, they just have air conditioning. So I was like, fucking 16 or whatever. I'm like, just turn on some AC. It's like, no, you can't.
They
fucking
don't
do
have it.
They don't fucking got it.
That's nowhere near as big as ours.
no, it's not. I don't think it's as big.
That's what I was saying.
But they got it,
They got
though.
a rinky-dink little... Okay, fuck. I take it back,
They've
France.
got one though.
Dude, that's a tiny piece of shit, dude.
They
Ours
still got it, though.
commands the fucking harbor, dude. It's a giant... It's bigger than the fucking Eiffel Tower here.
I thought they were the same size.
No,
though.
they're not.
All right.
They're not.
Okay.
You can see there.
I mean, it looks like you're right, but I could have swore I heard they were the same size.
You're wrong.
The Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower.
No, the two statues of Liberty.
Look, go
dude.
back to that picture.
Just go look it up.
You can hella
right,
see
hold on.
people standing down at the base of it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I could have swore I read somewhere that they were the same size.
Dude, you're fucking wrong. You've never seen the
Let's
Statue of
see.
Liberty in person, dude.
I haven't. No.
It's insanely gargantuan.
I'm not arguing with
The
this. I'm
biggest
just saying I
statue
could have
that I've
swore
ever
I
seen.
read that. But it looks from that picture like that's just wrong. So
You're wrong, TJ. They got a tiny little facsimile of
Okay,
it. Fuck
that's
them.
fine. That's fine.
So, of course, as well as tens of thousands of people dying, countless farm animals were killed in the heat. It was too hot for crops. It caused the whole European agricultural industry to lose over 13.1 billion euros, which is 10 million pounds. It wasn't just food that suffered, though. The heat caused widespread droughts throughout many of the countries, and infrastructure such as railways, subways, and even nuclear power plants had to temporarily close down due to the effects of the heat. As horrific as it all sounds, and this is to kind of wrap it up tonight, we can talk a little bit about the totality of it, but as horrific as all this sounds, environmental scientists are predicting that by 2050, every summer will be like this in Europe, so I guess they better start working on some
investing
AC.
in those ACs.
Damn, dude.
So, yeah, by 2050, the current climate model says that pretty much every summer in Europe is going to be just like this one, and obviously worsening as time goes on.
That's just crazy to think. Like the summer that killed 70,000 people in Europe is like, that's gonna be the new normal for them. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna fucking handle it, dude.
I mean, if 70,000 people were killed in one event here in the United States, we'd never stop talking about it.
fuck no.
I mean, look at 9/11 was like 2,000 people were killed in that, and it's still something that's considered to be a huge national tragedy. The Galveston Hurricane, 8,000 people. We're talking 70,000 people wiped off the map by basically an event out of our control.
Just too fucking hot. Can't cool down.
Yeah,
So I think I've proven to you guys that if you're going to be afraid of something, it's the
Be
planet that
afraid
we
of the
live on.
Earth.
Because nothing can fuck you over quicker than Mother Nature. Like I said,
The planet giveth life, Paul, but then it also taketh life.
as we sit here recording this, we could be totally oblivious to a fucking hurricane blowing in, some kind of fucking tornado, some sinkhole. some flood.
It could be some. We could be some ancient fault line, Paul, and the planet's just deciding. You know what? Now it's time.
We couldn't.
I want to promise you guys something. Something like this ever happens, I will use your bodies as flotation devices, fire barriers. I will do everything that's possible to get behind you, so that whatever comes to get, like if it's a landslide, I'll make sure you're in front of me. So maybe you'll take the impact, and I'll get. I just want to let you know that I will do that for you.
Thank you, Paul.
A true friend that you have.
Oh,
Paul
dude.
Zito.
So Paul's gonna end up happening is you're gonna like falling on top of us. So like TJ, I'm gonna be suffocating and crushing you. Paul's gonna be crushing me.
Yep.
All the shit's gonna be crushing him. It's gonna be fucking.
You guys will
dude.
cushion my fall as I blow over, and I'll crush both of you under me. But I will go on living. I promise that I will keep your lives
the legacy
in mind,
alive.
and I will go and live for 3 people instead of just 1.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Wow.
No problem. It's
Amazing.
my pleasure.
that. Mighty white of you, Paul.
Mhm.
If when I crush you to death in the fucking rubble of shit,
I will never forget you for saving me from the fire, tornado, earthquake, tsunami, heat wave. Okay?
I don't think I'm gonna save you, but if I do, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I don't know how we're
in advance.
I don't know how you're gonna be the one to survive. But hey,
Yeah, that France.
maybe our charred bodies will form a
I'm well
padded. Fucking cocoon, dude.
The Statue of Liberty is like 150 feet tall, and that replica in France is like 31 feet. So it's
Oh,
bitch
shit.
made.
So basically, it's just like a little 1/5.
Man, fuck that thing, dude.
Scale model.
Statue
Get on
of
our
bullshit.
fucking level, dude. Get on our level, France.
Fuck you, France. Should have kept the big one for yourselves,
I know,
bitch.
seriously.
TJ, I mean, but wasn't that obvious to you, man? When you looked at it, it didn't really look that big.
Yeah, I mean, but I just remember reading somewhere, or maybe someone just told me, like, yeah, they're the same size.
Looks teensy weensy.
It's not.
It's
That's clearly not the same size.
teensy
it's 1/5 the size
weensy.
of it.
Yep.
It's like the
Tiny
prototype.
statue.
We got the fucking final product. So any French fans, fuck you. We've got the better statue.
Yeah, sorry, a bunch of you died in a heat wave, but
You
our
know what?
Statue of Liberty is better.
When it gets hot right here, we turn on our fucking AC and we live.
Yeah, we crank up the AC.
Get some fucking AC, friends.
Huh, world melting heat wave? Don't worry. We have AC.
Inside, it's a balmy 69 degrees. I'm wearing fucking shorts and watching Netflix while you're out there having a heat stroke.
Yeah, enjoy your death, AC rejecting shit country.
Well, that's all I've got for tonight. That's a show.
All right, that's a good test show. Let's do the real show.
Okay, now
right.
the real show. All right. Warm up over.